What is up, Beam Team? Is your boy King Beam, and I'm back with another video. Today we are going to be ranking every single Spider-Man movie. You know, Insomniac Spider-Man 2 came out a week ago, and I have been totally addicted to playing Spider-Man 2. I was like, you know, I gotta do a Spider-Man ranking video. And before I start, I just want to say, I want you guys to go in the comments and slander my list, because I know that my list, it's a bit interesting. I'm not gonna lie, my list is interesting, and a lot of you probably won't agree with me. So I want to know what your list is. Please let me know what your list is. But like, you know, feel free to go and slander my list. And you know, another reminder, you know, look out for whatever that word I'm looking for is. This list isn't like an objective, you know, like what I think is like objectively like the best Spider-Man. This is my personal favorite Spider-Man movie list. Okay, so yeah, let's just like get into the video. At number 10, we got Spider-Man Far From Home. Far From Home hate is very much forced. I'm gonna say that right now. It may be number 10 on my list. That's kind of crazy how like there's only 10 Spider-Man movies, top 10 list. Anyway, it may be number 10 on my list, but I still think, like, I give it a smooth, I'd say it's a I'd say 7 out of 10. I feel like it's pushing 8, but it's not. And I'd give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think Far From Home's a great film. It's just not, you know, it's my least favorite Spider-Man movie yet of all the Spider-Man movies. It has a lot of good moments. You know, my particular favorite moment is the Peter Tinker moment where he like closes his eyes and like it's all dark and he starts to like beat up all the robots that are coming his way. That's a really cool moment. I think that, you know, the Night Monkey suit is really cool, and that fight looked amazing. I loved Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. I think it was a nice little MCU twist, as like he wasn't an actual like magician sorcerer guy. It was just like drones that were like fake, and I think that that was cool. I don't know if that's how he works in the comics. I played Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, and from what I know, he actually like did actual magic. So yeah, you know, a lot of people hate Spider-Man Far From Home. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. Up next to number 9, Spider-Man Homecoming. Yeah, I mean, it's a solid, I mean, it's not a Spider-Man origin story, but you know, it's a solid Spider-Man film. I don't have much to say about this one either. Like, you know, it exists. It's a Spider-Man film, and I like it. That one moment at the end where he loses the Stark suit and he has to put on his old suit, but then like the building falls on him and he has to like force himself to get back up. That's a really cool moment for me. But yeah, I don't know. It was cool. It was nice to see Tom Holland's first outing as Spider-Man Homecoming. I don't know. I like the movie. It has a lot of good like rewatch value. I just don't have much to say about the film. Up next, at number 8, Spider-Man 1, the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man. I love Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Growing up in my house, we had 2 Spider-Man DVDs. We had Spider-Man and we had Spider-Man 3. And you know, I love to watch them. This one was the one with Green Goblin, and it used to scare me a lot because of that one scene where like Aunt May's praying, and bro, Green Goblin literally just shows up and bombs her house while she's praying to God. Like, that's insane to me. You know, Toby just has a lot of like quotable lines in these movies, like memeable lines. Like he has the up and away whip, and he has the I missed the part where that's my problem, you know? Yeah, we get the iconic, what are the words that I'm looking for? With great power comes great responsibility. We get that cool little scene with Uncle Ben. Yeah, I mean, this was like the original. There's a lot of memes from it. The Norman Osborn memes are pretty funny. I think I like this movie a lot because it's like there's a lot of memes. It's like it's a funny movie, but like it's not meant to. It is meant to be campy. I guess it was meant to be funny because, you know, Sam Raimi loved the camp. But yeah, I feel like I should be saying more about these movies, but I don't have a lot to say until we get to like number 5 and up. That's when this video is gonna get like hella long because I have a lot to say about those movies. But yeah, Spider-Man 1. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Number seven. Number 7. The Amazing Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield is absolutely, without a doubt, the best Spider-Man that we have. I was going to say Peter Parker, but I was like, nah, I'm going to just give it him all. He's the best Peter Parker, best Spider-Man. He is my favorite. I love the guy. The Amazing Spider-Man. I love how this was like, I don't know. Probably because I like Batman's my favorite superhero, so it was like he was kind of like Batman in the beginning of this movie, right? And like this was like his origin story wasn't his origin story, because yes, he gets bit by the spider, but once he gets bit by the spider, he doesn't become Spider-Man, all right? Because once he gets his spider powers, he's vengeance. He's on vengeance mode, looking for the dude that killed his uncle, and he's like strolling the streets, you know, finding killers, beating them up. We had that really funny scene where this guy pulls out a knife and he's like, oh, is that a knife? Is that a knife? No. My weakness is small knives. And he's like running away from the knife. But the cool part about this film is that the real moment that he becomes Spider-Man and not just a super-powered spider teenager is when the Lizard is rampaging through the streets and there's this kid in this car and he's about to die, and Peter puts his mask on the kid's face and he's like, yo, I need you to be brave for me, kid. I need you to be brave for me. And Peter saves his life. And once he does that, he puts his mask back on and he sees like the impact he can have on people and like saving their lives. And that's when he realizes that he's Spider-Man. The people need Spider-Man. They don't need vengeance. They need Spider-Man. I was gonna go off on a tangent and talk about the Batman, because the Batman has a similar, you know, sort of lesson learned at the end. I'm gonna make it the Batman video, so I'm gonna make it on Halloween. Anyway, I love The Amazing Spider-Man. Good movie. Now, number 6. This is where things are gonna start to get controversial, and I think people are gonna start hating me, because at number 6 I have Spider-Man 2. And Spider-Man 2 is a lot of people's like favorite Spider-Man movie, and I can see why. I can see why. You know, Peter's life sucks. It is horrible. We get to see the real conflict between Spider-Man and Peter Parker. You know, Spider-Man has to be Spider-Man because he has to save people's lives. But in order to be Spider-Man, Peter Parker's life has to suck, you know? He loses his job. Pizza time. Funny meme. He loses his job, and like he's doing bad in class. The girl he's in love with doesn't love him back. His life is just terrible. So he's like, yo, I'm gonna stop being Spider-Man. And what happens when he stops being Spider-Man? Even though he stops being Spider-Man, his life still sucks. Mary Jane still doesn't love him. Like, yeah, you know, he's doing good in class, but like the real things that really matter to him still like suck in his life. Because you can't just like put down your responsibility and expect everything to fall into place. You can't neglect your responsibility. So then he has to put back on the mask. And then Doc Ock shows up and we have the cool train sequence. And he's pulling the train and the people are like, you know, putting him, they bring him back at the train because he passed out. And he's like, oh my gosh, he's just a kid like my son. And it's a really powerful scene. And we get the Doc Ock, you know, fight at the end. And he brings Doc Ock back to the light. And it's a really cool, like, character moment between Peter and Dr. Octopus, and he like sacrifices himself at the end to like save everyone because, you know, like the little sun, the power of the sun in the palm of my hands, and he sacrifices himself to save the city, and Spider-Man saves Mary Jane, and it's a really, 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 really good Spider-Man movie. It's just not my favorite. I don't know. Everyone loves it. There's a whole bunch of video essays about it. I think it's pretty good. I think it's a pretty good Spider-Man movie. Objectively, probably one of the best. It's just not my favorite, you know. I can watch it, but it's just not my, you know, particular cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really interest me like that. But I think it's a cool movie, you know. But on to the next one. Number 5. People are going to be mad about this one. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, I will say that objectively, I think this might be the worst Spider-Man movie in existence, but I love it. I love things that look pretty, and this is a very pretty movie. And cinematography wise, this might be the best Spider-Man movie in terms of cinematography. It just looks great. The opening swing. Oh my gosh, the opening swing when we start out, right? the screen is black. The screen is black, but then we see the red spider symbol. But oh my gosh, it fades, and we realize that the red spider symbol is actually Peter Parker swinging through the city. And then the music comes on. Bum, 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 boom, boom, boom. And then he's swinging through the city. He's like, "Hello, New York!" And then the Rhino shows up in the truck, and then Peter Parker, Spider-Man, he's saving all the dudes, and he's quipping around. He's real quippy, and it looks so aesthetically pleasing, right? Hans Zimmer on the score is doing his thing, all right. And I know we all love to talk about how bad Electro is, but bro, the fights with Electro are too nice. They're too nice. The first fight, right? Electro shows up, and he's about to he's shooting lightning at the stairs, right? And the stairs, I've been on those stairs actually in New York City when I visited. And I went on those stairs that they were at anyway in Times Square. Anyway, I don't want to get too off track. Let me go back to the Spider-Man. He shoots the lightning at the stairs, right? And the lightning is about to hit the railing that the people are touching to run away from. And then Spider-Man, with his spidey sense, it moves in slow motion, and he webs up all their hands and pulls them away, and he does this really cool slow motion thing, and it looks really awesome. And in the second Electro fight, they do this thing where Electro's moving in between the power converters, and it makes the sound of Itsy Bitsy Spider, and it's like dun, 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 dun. Oh my gosh, wow, ow, Jesus. But yeah, he plays the Itsy Bitsy Spider, and then Spider-Man's like, I hate this song. It's just really good. And yes, the Green Goblin plotline was quite forced and avoidable, but when he shows up, the clock tower sequence looks phenomenal. They're fighting in between the clock tower, and it's such an enclosed space, and the fight is just so raw, and he's trying to save Gwen while also fight Goblin. Harry Green Goblin, you get it. He's trying to fight the Green Goblin, and he's trying to save Gwen, and everything is happening, and then he's holding everything together, and then boom, his web snaps, Gwen starts to fall, and oh my gosh, one of my favorite shots in all of cinema history, right? Gwen's falling, and then Spider-Man, he jumps, and you get that slow-mo, and you can see his mask, and you see one of his eyes, and you can see Gwen falling from his mask, and then he shoots a web, and the web looks like a hand going out to catch her, but it's too late, and she dies. And Andrew Garfield gives a very, very, very emotional performance, and it's just so good. It's so good. Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone's chemistry in this movie is phenomenal, because they were dating at the time, and it just makes Gwen and Peter's love story just so great. And they tried to do this thing where Ghost Dad would show up and be like, yo, Peter, I told you not to date my daughter because she's gonna die. But then they kind of only did it twice, and then it never got brought back up again. And I feel like it had a lot going for it, but they didn't really do anything with it, so it didn't really go anywhere. Oh my gosh, I keep coughing. The Harry Osborn plotline is, I don't know, it's weird. Don't get me wrong, it is very weird. Why didn't Peter just give him some of his blood? It probably would have cured him. I don't know. Peter's weird. And then I don't know, when they were hanging out, it's just so weird. I'm Harry asked him something, and then Peter's on these rails, and he's like, that's a question. That's a question. I don't know. It's so dumb. But there's a lot of dumb stuff in this movie. The movie starts out with a whole the opening shot isn't the opening shot. The opening shot of this movie is Peter's parents in this spy movie action flick in a plane, and the plane's falling down, and they're being super spies, uploading data and stuff. And there's this whole side plot about Peter being chosen to be Spider-Man, and his dad made the spider specifically for Peter so that Peter would become Spider-Man, which is kind of crazy. And in the deleted scene, I know y'all have seen it in the I can't speak. In the deleted scene, his dad shows up. I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in this movie, and I used to hate this movie so much. I hated it, but it looks so good, and there's great moments sprinkled in that I really like, and I really like this movie because I like bad superhero movies, and I'm not ashamed of that. Bad superhero movies are the best superhero movies, except for the great superhero movies, which are better. Which brings us on to number 4, Spider-Man: No Way Home. I saw this twice in theaters, man. I was debating whether to put The Amazing Spider-Man 2 higher than this, but I don't know. Something about No Way Home is just so great to me, man. Like, all 3 acts of the film, I genuinely love. I love the beginning and how, Peter's life falls apart. And could they have done it better? Yes, but it's an MCU movie, so what do you expect? Okay, it could have been done better, but I love how everything just came crashing down, and then all of the villains show up from the different dimensions, and then Peter has to he wants to save him. Aunt May's like, yo, don't just send him back to die. We gotta save him. So he's trying to save him. He wants to be the good thing. He wants to be Spider-Man because Spider-Man saves people. But then we get this really cold. I am a sucker for good cinematography. All right, we get that really good scene, and the sound leaves, right, and we zoom in on Peter's face, and he's he's Peter tingling right now, and he's like, whoa, what's going on? And then finally we zoom back out, and then boom, he webs up Green Goblin's hand. That was a really cool moment. And then Green Goblin just starts going ballistic, right. Everything's getting blown up. I think Electro went dummy. He was like, yo, I'm out of here. Electro left. Sandman dipped. The Lizard broke out of a truck that he was supposed to be in. Everything is just going crazy. And then Spider-Man gets slammed through 5 floors of steps. Or was it? I feel like Peter was the one that got slammed through the steps, or maybe he slammed Green Goblin. I don't know. I know he was punching Green Goblin in the face, and bro literally started laughing. And then I think after that's when he suplexed Spider-Man through the floor. Boom, right? And then Aunt May dies, and it's really sad. And Tom Holland's Peter gets his version of the "with great power comes great responsibility" speech. Aunt May dies, and it's really sad. And we get the really cool shot of he's just sitting there, just sad. I don't know if that was in the movie, because we saw it in the poster. The poster for this film is the poster is nice, I will admit. But yeah, then Peter 1 and Peter 3, no, Peter 2 and Peter 3 show up. Toby and Andrew show up, and their final battle together is just fun to watch. It's live action Spider-Verse. It's 3 Spider-Men swinging around, beating bad guys. What more can you ask for in a comic book movie? I don't know. It's great. And Peter versus Green Goblin at the end, and Peter was angry. I want to see Tom Holland's Spider-Man get the Venom symbiote, because Tom Holland has fantastic range as an actor, and he can get angry, and we got a little dose of it. He was beating up Green Goblin, but then Toby was like, yo, man, you gotta chill. We don't do that here. We save people. We don't kill them, man. And, it's just and the way it ended, because everybody was talking about how, oh my gosh, he's just Tony Stark Jr. He's got all this tech and, blah, 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 blah. Well, are you happy now? Bro has nothing. Peter has nothing. He has his own homemade suit now. And it's just, I don't know. Far From Home is a good movie. I feel like I said No Way Home earlier when I, introduced this movie. Oh my gosh. Did I feel like I put Far From Home at number 10 and No Way Home at number 4, but I meant for No Way Home. Wait, no. No Way Home is this one. I just got so confused. No Way Home is the 3rd one, and Far From Home is the 2nd one, I think. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just a guy here talking about Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. Yeah, it's Far From Home. Yeah, it's gotta be. Yeah, shout out Andrew Garfield, because he was in this movie, and he's the best Spider-Man. And I didn't even talk about his suit when I talk about The Amazing Spider-Man 2. That is the best Spider-Man suit we have ever seen in our lives. Comic books, shows, movies, I don't care what you're talking about. That is the best ever Spider-Man suit to ever be seen by anyone's eyes ever in the existence of Spider-Man suits ever. And if you disagree, that's fine. But that's my opinion, and I think my opinion is quite valid, because that suit is gorgeous. That opening shot, oh my gosh, it's a good opening swing sequence. Okay, on to number 3. This video is 19 minutes long so far, and it's probably gonna be 30. Number 3, Across the Spider-Verse, man. I love me some Miles Morales, and Across the Spider-Verse, like my top three. It was hard to make, but Across the Spider-Verse is I I'm trying to stop myself because I could say so much about this movie and I don't know what I want to say because I don't know how long I want this video to be, but I might just start rambling. I really might just start rambling because when you're talking about Spider-Man, you just gotta ramble. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, man. I, you know what? I made a whole entire video on it. I'm just gonna plug the video because I talked a lot about that movie in that video. So go watch the video if you want to hear my full complete thoughts. YouTuber things like what I did there. But yeah, I love the Miguel part where he's like trying to kill Spider-Man. It's like really cool. Ben Reilly is in this movie and he makes me laugh. He makes me chuckle. And I love Miles Morales. And I hope that Miles and Gwen end up together because I think that would be a cool little romantic story for him. And I love how he created his own narrative. He's like, yo, I don't care what you guys say my destiny is, I'm gonna make my own destiny, and he literally packs up the entire spider society because he's him. He has the exaggerated swagger of a black teen. He is Miles Morales. He is Spider-Man. Now I'm rambling. I'm on a tangent and I'm gonna keep going. I love this. There's a great moment where Miles is talking to his mom and they're like Miles's connection with his parents is just so genuinely great to watch. I'm gonna talk about it later when I talk about Into the Spider-Verse, but in the first Spider-Verse movie, Miles's dad gives this monologue to him, and it's really I'll talk about that later. But in this movie, Miles's mom gives this really great monologue, and she's like, I need you to protect that little boy that I raised. I need you to make sure that he's gonna be all right at all times. You're becoming a young man now, but that little boy, you gotta protect him. And Miles did exactly that. He didn't let nobody tell him who he was. He told them who he was. He packed them up respectfully. Nuh-uh. I'ma do my own thing. Yeah. Shout out Peter B. Parker. Yeah, and his little daughter. He got a little daughter now. Shout out dads for real. You know what I'm saying? Shout out dads and moms. But Peter. So dad, he's not a mom, so I just wanted to say that. Yeah, if you want to know more, go watch. I feel like I didn't talk about it enough in the video. I don't know. I could talk about these movies for hours, but I have to edit this in 2 days. So let's keep going. On to number two. Spider-Man 3. I love this movie. I'm gonna talk about this for a while. A lot of people love to hate on Spider-Man 3. You wanna know what I have to say about that? It's a good movie. It is a great movie. An amazing movie, in fact. You want to know why? Because it's funny. Because it has Bully Maguire, okay? This movie is I don't know. It keeps you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to specifically talk about Black Spider-Man because, like I said earlier, this was one of the only 2 Spider-Man movies that I had in my house growing up until I don't know. Until Spider-Man Homecoming came out. We just never bought Spider-Man movies. I don't know why, but I spoke out of the mic there for a second. Anyway, yes, I had Spider-Man 3 and Spider-Man 1, and I loved to watch this one because it was so funny to me, and I love Black Spider-Man. I love the Venom symbiote version of Spider-Man. I'm sorry, that made noise. I keep doing stuff. The symbiote Spider-Man is just so fun. He's a menace, and I love it. I mean, Bro, Black Suit Spider-Man in the old animated series, that one scene where he's going to be in Shocker, All right. Hi, my name is King Beam, and this is my audition to voice act Black Spider-Man versus Shocker, beginning now. Get back here, Shocker! Shocker! You can't escape me! I'll chase you to the ends of the earth! Oh man, I got a little silly there. It's a funny scene, but like I was saying, I love symbiote Spider-Man. He's just so funny to me. So let's talk about it. In this movie, Peter gets the symbiote, right? And I forget what happens, how he puts the suit on, but he wakes up, right? And this movie just looks really cool. Symbiote Spider-Man just has the sauce. He has the sauce. Black Spider-Man got the sauce. He wakes up, sees himself in the mirror, in the reflection on this building, and he's just staring at himself, yeah, bro, I'm cool. I'm that guy. And then he finds out that Flint Marko killed his dad. Like, that's what they think. But I don't know. I don't remember if Flint Marko actually killed his dad or not. But anyway, he finds out that, potentially Flint Marko, not his dad, killed his uncle. So he's like, hey, I'm going to go piece up this dude. So bro's like walking. He's walking through his apartment. He's just strolling back and forth until he hears something. And he's like, yeah, it's time to go crazy, right? And so then, I don't know, like, what happens, but I feel like there was like a moment where he went to go grab the red suit, but he was like, nah, I'm gonna go black today. And so he goes out, right? He goes to find Flint Marko. And then Eddie Brock shows up, right? And so then, Peter, he's already pissed off this dude, Eddie Brock. He breaks Eddie Brock's freaking camera, and he's like, see ya, chump. He says, see ya, chump. Jumps down in the sewers, right? And so then this dude, Spider-Man, he finds Flint Marko. And bro is like, he looks scary. He's like crawling up on the ceiling, just like menacingly in the shadows. And he pops up right in front of Flint Marko's face. And just start boom, boom, just starts beating this dude up, right? This dude gets so like, he's angry. He like grinds his face against a train. His face is like about to go away. This is some very violent stuff. And then he sees this water tank. And he's like, this guy's made of sand. So he unleashes a whole entire water tank full of water on this dude to kill him. And then he looks this dude in the face and he says, good riddance. And then he thinks that he kills Flint Marko. And his first thought after catching his first body is to go tell Aunt May about it. He just packed up Sandman and he's going to go tell his aunt. He's going to go tell his aunt that he caught his op lacking and disposed of the body. This dude's a menace. He is a menace. And then this dude falls in love. He falls in love with the black Spider-Man suit. He's like, yeah, this is who I am now. He's just angry. Like, bro, he was walking through his apartment and his like door was broken, right? And so then his landlord's like, yo, when are you going to pay me my rent? And then Spider-Man's like, you'll get your rent when you fix this damn door. And then like he's walking through the streets, he's just like, Bully Maguire, he's just out here. He thinks that he has sauce, and it's funny because like Spider-Man's a dork, so he thinks he looks cool, but he just looks dumb, but he doesn't care because he's a him, right? And so then he goes on like, he invites Gwen Stacy out for a date because like he wants to make MJ jealous. So he takes Gwen to the restaurant that MJ is a waitress at, right? And then bro starts dancing. The music comes on and he starts like doing this little like snap little dance, like he thinks he's Michael Jackson or something. And he's like, dig on this. And he starts dancing and he's like playing the piano and such. And then I don't know, one thing leads to another and they're about to like throw this dude out of the like restaurant. And so then he gets in a fight with like the bartenders and then he like slaps Mary Jane across the face. This dude is a complete menace and I love it because it's funny, right? And oh my gosh, I didn't even talk about it yet. I gotta talk about it. All right. So Harry Osborn, right? Some point in the movie, he regains like his memory and he remembers that Peter Parker Spider-Man, that he killed his dad. All right. And so then Harry's like, all right, bet. You and Mary Jane are having relationship problems. Harry goes and steals this man's girl. He steals his girl and makes sure that Peter sees it. He wants him to see it. All right. So Peter sees Harry steal his girl. So then Peter goes and he sits down. He's sitting on his bed. And bro has some malicious intent on his mind. You can see it on his face. And then that theme music starts playing. That symbiote theme music starts playing. He looks at the box, puts that suit on, and starts to go crazy. He pulls up immediately to this dude's residence, right? And then, because like he showed up one way in the movie, but like in I think it was like the editor's cut or something like that. This dude Peter shows up at Harry's house, laying on the couch that his dead father died in the same position that he died in. That's just so cold. That's so cold. This dude is so disrespectful, and I love it. He pulls up, and Harry's like, ooh, like, I kissed Mary Jane, and her lips were so soft, and so Spider-Man's like, I bet. He just starts boxing him. May I remind you, he doesn't even pull up in the black suit. He pulls up as Peter, because he wants him to know that Peter Parker is about to give him this beating. He just starts boxing him, all right? And so then we get to a point, and, like, you know, Harry, he keeps trying to come after Peter, talking about his girl, all right? So then Peter, he looks down at him. He's standing over top of him. He looks down, and he was like, your father didn't love you. You were embarrassment to him. He despised you. And then he's like, oh, little Goblin Jr., gonna cry? Like, this dude's hilarious. And Harry tries to, like, say some stuff back, and Peter just, like, he goes like, ooh, like, oh my gosh, like, oh, I'm so scared, all right? And so then Harry tosses a bomb at Peter Parker. Peter Parker waves it, grabs it with the web, tosses it back at his face, and blows him up, and walks away like nothing happened. This dude's cold. He's cold and disrespectful, and I love it. I love this guy, and the confidence he exudes is just intoxicating. Shout out Bully Maguire, and that is why I love Spider-Man 3 and why it's the best. And I gotta keep going. I gotta talk about Eddie Brock, because Eddie Brock is also a menace, because bro pulled up to church. He pulls up to church and gets on his hands and knees, starts praying to God, and says, God, I pray that you will please kill Peter Parker. That's just crazy to me. But yeah, I love Spider-Man 3. I think it's funny. I love Symbiote Spider-Man. He's my second favorite comic character of all time. He's a menace, and I love it. Shout out Spider-Man 3 on to number 1, which I think is objectively and subjectively the best Spider-Man movie ever created. Into the Spider-Verse, man. Like, what's up, Danger? What's up, Danger? Anyway, you know. All right. Why is this video 30 minutes and 50 seconds long already? I wasn't supposed to do this, but I get so into talking about Spider-Man. It's just so good. It's raw. It's great. I love this rendition of Miles. This rendition of Miles is so perfect. Like, I didn't like the PS4 version of him for a while, because, like, this is the definitive version of Miles Morales for me. Like, he is perfect, and I love his arc into how, you know, the spider bites him, and he doesn't really, like, want to become Spider-Man. He doesn't want to be a hero necessarily. He doesn't know how to be a hero, and everyone's trying to show him how to be a hero, and he doesn't know how. He doesn't have any, like, concrete evidence or, like, tactics or anything. Like, he doesn't really know what he's doing at all, being Spider-Man or in life. And I feel like we've all been there in life. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know how to take the next step. We don't know what's going on, because life, it's new to all of us, you know? We have a lot of people, you know, in our lives that have done life more than we have. You know, they can give us advice, but we're the ones living our life, and we don't know what we're doing. But you want to know something? It's all a leap of faith. That's all it is, Miles. A leap of faith. And that quote has just stuck with me, because, like, anything you do in life, it's all a leap of faith. You know what I'm saying? I myself am a Christian man, and, you know, I love God, and, like, that's really what life is, you know, from my perspective. You know, it's faith, you know, trust God, and he gonna get you through life. But, like, I just feel like, even if you aren't religious, it works, you know? Peter's basically saying it is what it is, it's gonna be what's gonna be, and that's life. You just gotta do it. Just do it like Nike. It's all a leap of faith. And like I was saying, Miles' dad gives this really, like, great speech about how great of a person Miles is, and, like, he loves him, and he sees how much he's grown, and, like, he just wants him to be great. And Miles, like, loves his dad, and they clash a lot throughout this movie, but you can tell that there's a raw, genuine love between them, because, you know, it's father and son. They love each other. And so then at the end, Miles finally learns, and it's just a leap of faith, and he, like, venoms out of the webs that they put him in, and he spray paints his own suit, and he jumps off the building, and we get the really cool scene that is the visual representation of a leap of faith. And he jumps down, like, what's up, Danger? And then he jumps down, and he's the one who finally stops Kingpin. He's the one who closes the breach and, like, stops the collider. He's the one who saves the day, because he is Spider-Man. He just had to do it, you know? He had to stop trying to be like Peter and Gwen and everyone else. He just had to be himself and take a leap of faith and do it. And that's what it means to be Spider-Man. Gosh, that is a great movie. I gotta rewatch it. I gotta rewatch it now because it's just so good, and it like and Across the Spider Verse builds on it, and it's just it's a great movie. Yeah, I am like tired. I just talked for 34 minutes straight about Spider-Man. If you like stayed here and watched this entire video, I really do appreciate your existence. Drop a drop a leap of faith in the comments if you're still watching right now. I think we're like 34 minutes in, but yeah, thanks for watching my video. If you're still here, let me know what you think about my Spider-Man list down in the comment section down below. And yeah, I love you. Have a great day, and remember, it's all a leap of faith. That's all it is. A leap of faith. I love you. Have a great day. Peace out.